Good morning, church. Good morning, and welcome to Celebration Sunday, where we do something a little bit different and we take the time to recognize and celebrate the movement of the Holy Spirit and God's work through us in the community and in the world. I am Pastor Sean. It is a blessing to be here today with you, and welcome to all of you here today, where at Bloomfield Congregational Church, no matter who you are, no matter where you are in your life's journey, no matter what has happened to you, if you are looking to learn more about love, if you are looking to learn more about what love can do for your life and the world, then you are welcome here no matter what. If you are interested in learning more about our community of faith, in the pews here is a card that you can scan and get to our linked tree, which will give you all kinds of information about the church, as well as if you prefer to donate, if you choose to do that electronically, you can do that through here as well. A couple of announcements. One, if any of you need, I know it goes up and down in the waves, if any of you need COVID tests, let us know. We have plenty of them for you, and they're at no cost to you, so you, your family, other people you know, if you need them, we have them and are happy to give them to you. Also, immediately following this, if you weren't aware, immediately following this service, we have a big cookout that's going to take place right outside the church. So please plan on joining and eating to your heart's delight and listening to the music and having a wonderful time. Also, today at 2 o'clock will be the Celebration of Life memorial service for Charles Griffin, right here at 2 o'clock if you would like to participate in that. So now let us take a moment to lay aside those things that are weighing us down as we hear this special message from Councilwoman and Pastor Suzette DeBeetham Brown.
First Congregational Church of Bloomfield and Pastor Sean, once again, thank you. My name is Suzette DeBeetham Brown, and I am your town councilor. There's a scripture that says, in order to have friends, you must first show yourself friendly. There's another scripture that says, by this all men will know that you're my disciples if you have love one for another. That's what this church represents. Represents love, and it represents friendship. Another year have passed, and I am so grateful that you are here in our town. Whether it's continuing to feed our most vulnerable, whether it's putting the lights out there so that we can see how many people we have actually lost to COVID-19, or standing united with the people of the Ukraine. This church and your pastor, Pastor Sean, have once again proven that you are a friend to the town of Bloomfield. You have opened your doors on many occasions. You have opened your hearts to every and anyone that needed a safe space. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do. And Pastor, this church couldn't be what it is to our community without a visionary, without a leader. So thank you for being that to this congregation and to this community.
When you came in, you may have seen or be given these. If you didn't, we can get them handed out to you. But if you want to clap, you can clap. If you want to hoot out during Celebration Sunday, or if you want to use these to recognize your joy during this period of time, you can feel free to let these out. Now, I know that some people have already pointed out that these look like brass knuckles. This is not the purpose of what we've given you here. This is not the purpose of what we've given you here. It is to shout and celebrate and enjoy, and it's wonderful to see you, Kelly. So now, let us join together as we say our call to worship. The words will be up on the screen. Praise God. Praise God. Do not be quiet. Shout it out. Sing. Celebrate the wonder of what is being done to build the kingdom of God right here, right now.
We shout out to the world, to our friends and neighbors, what great things are being done. What great things are being done through you, God.
we are called to celebrate. We are called to declare the wonderful acts done in God's name.
Praise God. Praise the wonderful work done in God's name. Let us gather to worship, to celebrate, and to praise God.
Now please rise and bow to your spirit as we sing our first hymn. The words will also be up on the wall. Let us join together for our unison prayer. The words will be found up on the wall. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We are called to praise you always, even when things are hard, especially when things are hard. We are called to praise you in our words, in our songs, and in our actions. We are even called to praise you by celebrating. Things are hard. We feel it. We feel it deeply. We feel it in our souls and in our bones. But that will not stop us from celebrating the many good things that are taking place right here, right now. Amen. May the peace of God be with you. Please offer a gesture of the peace of God to each other.
Children, gather round. How are you? How are you? So good to see all of you. Come on, Liam. Yep. Look at all of you here. It didn't work. I'm celebrating because look at all of you here. Look at all of you here. Thank you for coming to church. And I'm celebrating. What about you? It didn't work again. You know what? What do you like to celebrate? Christmas. What do you like to celebrate? Birthdays. What do you like to celebrate? Can you think? Quick. Say it again. Birthdays. What do you like to celebrate? What about anniversaries, right? Yay! There's all kinds of things to celebrate. But I want to tell you one special thing that I celebrate each one of you. And I celebrate each one of you here. Celebrating you you do it every day. Celebrate you every day because you are special. You are special to God, you are special to Jesus, and you are special to the Holy Spirit. You have a lot to celebrate. You have a lot to celebrate. Celebrate every single day, not just on your birthdays, not just anniversaries. What did I say? Every day. What?
Every day.
Every day. Excellent. Yes. Now, I have more celebrations. We have people in the church, older youth that have graduated high school and are in college, and we have scholarships. And we have camperships for those who are going to camp. So we're going to celebrate them too. So, I would like to call Beatrice Dang. Oh. Linda Blanchard. Karen, you want to accept for Linda? Ursula? Caitlin Percy? Joshua Clark. Come on, Joshua. Long time no see. Glad to see you. Hooray! You did it through high school. Isaiah Clark. Nice job. Nice job. Caleb McKenzie. Anna Hellman. Caitlin Percy, I see you. Ha. Here you go, honey. Yay! I saw Anna, yep. And Caleb, he walked behind me. Caitlin Percy, Anna Hellman. Now the camps. So we have kids going to Silver Lake this year. Yeah. We have Josiah Davis. Come on. Here you are, dear. Janiyah Davis and Summer O'Connor. I know Summer O'Connor's online. Yay, Summer. And Madeline Hellman. All these youth, all these young people are to be celebrated. Give them a big applause. Celebrate. And now we have childcare downstairs if you want to go with Miss Lisa. And if you want to go back to your parents and celebrate some more with us, you can do that too. It's up to you.
They'll be playing again during the service, and then during the cookout outside, they'll be playing out there as well. So let us join together for the pastoral prayer, followed by the Lord's Prayer. Gracious God, we thank you for being with us right here, right now. Things are hard all over, and it can be hard to keep ourselves above water. Hard just to hold things together when so much is going on. But even in times like these, we are called to celebrate what you do through us, to celebrate what we are doing together, because you are good. When is God good, church? All the time. We also need your support and help, God. We need your presence with us for people who are battling so many things, from COVID to cancer, to the wave of grief that came from things from yesterday or today or a week ago or a year ago or 10 years ago or more, to help with the stress of financial difficulties, for those in the midst of struggles or challenges in relationships or battles with addictions of so many kinds, for people dealing with stress and anxiety and other forms of mental stress and mental illness. May it be that we welcome them as we would welcome anybody, and not add to their burden by layering on stigma on top of it. Help people feel you walking with them or sitting by their side. Help people know that they are wanted and welcomed by you, by us here in this community of faith. And when the need is even greater, when the burdens are too great, when that time comes when life is so hard that it is too hard to simply put one foot in front of the other, we ask for your presence to be there, to hold and carry them and lift them in your arms until they are ready to walk on their own again. And when you need us, let us be those arms that carry each other as well. Grant us the courage to do this and follow your way each day, a way that will save us and the world. And now, as Jesus taught us, you'll find the words up on the wall. Let us pray together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
I will extol you, my God and King, and bless your name forever and ever. Every day I will bless you and praise your name forever and ever. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. His greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall extol your works to another, and shall declare your mighty acts. They will recount the glorious splendor of your majesty, and on your wondrous works I will meditate. They will proclaim the might of your awesome deeds, and I will declare your greatness. They shall celebrate the fame of your abundant goodness, and shall sing aloud of your righteousness. The Lord is gracious and merciful, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. The Lord is good to all, and his compassion is over all that he has made. All your works shall give thanks to you, O Lord, and all your faithful shall bless you. They shall speak of the glory of your kingdom and tell of your power, to make known to all people your mighty deeds and the glorious splendor of your kingdom. Your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and your dominion endures throughout all generations. The Lord is faithful in all his words and gracious in all his deeds. The Lord upholds all who are falling and rises up all who are bowed down.
Hi, everybody. Jason Jakubowski here from Connecticut Food Share. Just want to give a big thank you to Pastor Sean and everybody over at the Bloomfield Community Kitchen and the Bloomfield Backpack Program. You guys are the best. More than 100,000 meals last year. That's just incredible, and that's how many people and that's how many families that you've been able to help here in the Bloomfield area. So, just a thank you for everything that you do. We're proud to have you as our partners, and you guys are the best. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care.
There are a lot of things to celebrate, but I don't know about you. In the past weeks and months and years, things have been pretty difficult. I don't know if anybody here has felt like they've ever fallen down in the last couple of years. Anybody feels like the weight of the world has just caused you to be bent down a little bit. And that's what we hear at the end of the reading from today. We hear, the Lord is faithful in all God's words and gracious in all God's deeds. The Lord upholds all who are falling and raises up all who are bowed down. And one of the ways that takes place is through celebration. And the scriptures consistently tell us to celebrate even when we are down. Every day I will bless you and praise you, it says. One generation shall laud your works to another and declare it from one generation to another, because this is how we pass down what we know and the faith and joy and hope that comes in times of difficulty to the next generation, so that they can have that strength as well. We shall celebrate. They shall celebrate the fame and abundant goodness of God and sing aloud. So let's see how we're doing here. Just today, let's see how we're doing on the celebration so far. So in this psalm it says, let's see how we're doing here. It says, make sure we sing. Okay, check, we've done that. Make sure we're praising God. Okay, we've done that. And then in other psalms it says, blow your trumpets. Check. Some say, clash your cymbals. Check. And I am completely convinced that the only reason the scriptures don't say, fly and fire off your confetti cannons to celebrate, is because they hadn't been invented yet. So we're going to modernize the scriptures and correct that now. So everybody be ready and prepared. So 1, 2, 3. This is stuck. See, I like to kind of stagger, boom, 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 right? See, now we're celebrating. This is the kind of thing we're supposed to do, because so many amazing things are happening in this community of faith because of you, because of the Spirit of God, because of this community, and we're going to start celebrating some of those things right now. The community kitchen here at Bloomfield Congregational Church served, no, we're not going to those yet. Actually, we are. So I'm out of order. I'm sorry. You're right. So, to the slides. So, some of the things that have been taking place here, which are just remarkable, this is us working with the post office. A few weeks ago, you might have known that the post office put out notices for you to put canned goods out or something else out for the whole town, and that collection came to us because the community recognizes all the work that's being done by this community of faith. 6,000 pounds of food were collected in that effort that will allow us to feed people for a long time. Next one. Then also, and I know that the vigils aren't celebrating joyful things, but the fact that we are able in times of crisis, when things are going hard in the community, that people look to us to light the way and to bring people together, to come together in that time of difficulty, is something to celebrate. That we can do that and help people through the most difficult times. Next. Also, that we have so many children. Everybody see how many children were here today? There's so many churches who are closing down their entire youth programs, closing down, getting rid of their youth directors because they don't have children. We have more and more coming, and when I'm talking to my pastor peers, they're like, what is going on? I'm like, I don't know. But something good's going on. Next. and stepping into social justice. Stepping into social justice. We've been doing our conversations, our sacred conversations towards ending racism, to learn more about white privilege, to learn more about what we should be doing in the world, to be doing more. And we're actually this year stepped out and twice went out to rallies to end hate, rallies to go up against racism, and we need to do more, and we still have a lot to learn, but we're on that path next. Then we just have fun, right? Just have fun. This is actually, if you can see, that's your pastor right there, Scooby-Doo outfit, with children from the Child Development Center. We just have such a wonderful, which is such an integrated and important part of our community of faith next. And then that part that we talked about going from one generation to another. We're doing that work. Thank you. So now I want to talk about this other part that I tried to jump ahead of. The work that is being done through this community of faith, through the power of the Holy Spirit, and through all of your work. The Community Kitchen is doing something, and other groups are doing something that we were called to do. Jesus, God, the Psalms, everything says, feed my children, feed my sheep, take care of those people who need that. The Community Kitchen gave out food that had 17,700 meals in them. That is shocking. A stunning number. The Bloomfield backpack program that we run had 10,000 meals given to children who are in schools in Bloomfield and their families who need that. That's stunning. Then we have the mission. We have this remarkable missions team, and one of the things, they do tons of different things, but one of the things that they do is these Thanksgiving boxes. And 66 families that have children in them got full Thanksgiving meals because of that. Another 100 through the Community Kitchen. And then because of our civic partnerships, we were able to give senior services here at the town of Bloomfield access to 150 additional turkeys and all the fixings that probably had like 1,500 meals in them. Because I don't know how many meals are in a turkey, right? But it's a lot. So we've got with all of that, and then our group, Loaves and Fishes, that brings food, hot food, to the homeless in places in Hartford at Emmanuel Congregational Church. When you take all of this together, this community of faith alone in this year served 30,000 meals. 30,000 meals. And if you think we're being too aggressive on this estimate, remember, the president of Connecticut Food Share, they do their own measurements about how much is a meal. They said it was 100,000. We're calling it 30 because we measure it a little differently. Apparently, we're a little bit more conservative about it. So you can trust that this number is good because it's less than a third of what Connecticut Food Share says we did through our programs. Then sure, a lot of the COVID tests are much more available now, being mailed directly to you. You can have them, go get them at Geisler's for like $12. But does anybody remember when you could not get these? When you could not get these, we found a way to get these when the city couldn't, when the state couldn't, and we gave out 1,000 kits that had 2,000 tests into the community, not just to everybody, but to the most vulnerable, the people who didn't have the transportation to go to the places when you had drive-through ones, when you couldn't get to somebody, when people couldn't afford them, because even if they were available, back then, these were like 17, 18, 19, 20, 25 bucks a pop, right? So we got 2,000 tests of these into the communities, and well over 3,000. We didn't know whether it was 5,000 or 4,000, so we just said more than 3,000. Masks, N95, KN95, surgical masks, all the different kinds of masks into the community. That helped keep people healthier. But it did something even more than that. People who didn't have access to this stuff felt like someone cared about them. People who normally are left behind felt like someone cared about them, and it gave them comfort and gave them hope. And the community who saw about this, because the newspaper saw what we were doing and started to pick up on what we were doing, we got calls from people saying, we're not going to take one of these tests, we have one, we just want to let you know how much hope you were bringing into the community by what you are doing. And gosh, the world could use hope right now. Gosh, the world could use hope right now. But in addition to that, we have groups like our parish care team. The chair, Ursula Deng, is here today, does a remarkable, remarkable job But one of the most important things she did for me this year was when I was asking her, so how many calls did we do, and how many visits did we do, and how many of this? She's like, it's not about the numbers. And she gave them to me. But she says, remember, this is about the time we're spending with people. This is about what we're doing for people's hearts. And so I told myself, I'm not going to put the numbers out there. That's for you, Ursula. All right? I'm coachable. I can learn. But cards and visits and so many other things that people do to make sure people know that they are not alone. And a reminder that everybody here is part of parish care. We do have a team that focuses on this, but all of us are responsible for making sure that each person knows that you are not alone, that none of you are alone, that we are here for you and part of this community of faith. And then this welcome, right? This radical welcome that we have, that we make sure that we shout out, that we let people know. And some people think we go too far about letting people know. But you know what? It's scary to come through the doors of a church if you haven't done it before. You haven't been in, if you don't know what's going to be greeting you. So telling people who we are and saying you are welcome here no matter who you are, no matter what, as long as you are looking to do good in the world and have your heart grow in love. But then these yellow dots, these are all like the lights that we put out there. The lights that we put out there, whether they're for the memorials or letting people, so many people came and walked through the memorials that we put out there with the 750 lights, with the 1,000 lights, with the 10 light, with the 1 light. And the artistry that is done to do that. Thank you, Leslie, for making sure we had those beautiful things, and Michelle and everybody who pounded 200 stakes into the ground to do that, because these things matter. Scripture also tells us to take care of those who are the most vulnerable. People who are much older or frail, right? People who are younger, the orphan and the children. For our seniors this year, our missions team, through our Prosser Fund, gave out $60,000 in cash aid to people who were over 60 who had some kind of financial crisis that could have put them down a downward spiral, that kept them from ending up in a place that would have caused them to lose their dignity, house repairs, all kinds of other things that would have put them in a terrible situation, but helped them out. For the children, so many different ways. Against the missions team and all of you, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of toys given through our programs, and then partnering with the mayor and partnering with the sports programs for the first time, doing a toy drive out of here. And then in addition to that, it's not just all about the giving out, right? Sometimes it's about doing the work. In our youth group, led by our Faith Formation Director, Doreen DeCarly, one of the things that our youth group does is they sell pies and they do things to raise money, and then they don't keep it to go do a trip or something. They take that money and they go and they buy toys for other people who need things. And then the scholarships here. We're just going to let you know. I know a lot of the times you might wonder, is there like $25 in there? Is there like $50 in there? In those scholarships, over $11,000 was just given out in your site. $11,000 to support these amazing, amazing youth who are going out from high school into college in different places to help them and get started in a way that will have less debt when they end up. We're doing the work locally that you hear. We're also doing it internationally, like when we did the fundraiser for Ukraine. Over $10,000 in goods and services were raised and then sent over to Ukraine. And that wasn't just from this church. People trust this church. People from all over the community came here and brought things and brought things and brought things and sent money through our apps and sent checks because they said, you know, we're never going to walk through the doors of your church. We're atheists, but we trust your church. We like what your church is doing. We feel the hope you're generating. And so here's $1,000 towards the Ukraine, or here's $1,000 towards your community kitchen. That's the kind of thing we have going here. And a lot of you may not know what this UCC stands for. It's our denomination, the United Church of Christ. And we give money to them because they can pool that money and together do and have tremendous impacts in the world at a larger scale than we can sometimes do and impact things internationally. In addition, I know we like to think we're like rugged, independent, New England, Connecticut Congregationalists, and we're going to do all this on our own. But the fact is we're connected to other churches, and just recently, church in Glastonbury, the First Church of Glastonbury, is one of our biggest funders of the Bloomfield backpack program. The pastor called me, and they had someone in their congregation who was really, really hurting and had moved to Bloomfield. And they had been supporting this person and this family for a long time. They're like, will you pick them up for us? And we said, absolutely. And so we've been supporting this family quietly for some time now. We are not alone. We are partnering together in this remarkable denomination. PDF, the Pastor's Discretionary Fund. A lot of you give money to the Pastor's Discretionary Fund. This allows us to do things immediately to help people when they are in crisis. There was a family that was about to become homeless. They planned that night to sleep in their car, and study after study after study in psychology and sociology shows that even one night of homelessness for a child impacts the trajectory of their life. So we made sure that they had a place to stay until they could find a more permanent home. There were people who needed medical care and couldn't afford it, and we were able to help take care of that. There were people who were hungry. Anybody hurting from the price of gas right now? Right, we're giving out gas cards to people whose primary work involves them doing a huge commute, or people who can't eat and making sure they get gift cards and other things. Whatever we can do from this fund, and does that in tremendous, impactful ways. But we can't do this without partners. Partners like you. But we have so many partners. We have faith partners here. I already talked about the First Congregational Church in Glastonbury. But when I got here, people were like, well, there's some interfaith stuff, but you're never going to be able to get the other churches to kind of like partner together to do anything meaningful. The First Cathedral, thank you, the First Cathedral partners with us in the backpack program. Right? We have Old St. Andrews partnering with us in the backpack program. We have Rehoboth Church of God partnering with us in the backpack program. We have Seabury, which is a kind of religious institution if you go there, right? But so we have all these faith communities. We have civic communities. You saw with the post office what we're doing. You heard what we do with social services, with the toys, and what we do with senior services at getting 150 seniors full Thanksgiving meals, not just for them, but for their families. And then we have corporate partnerships, right? Wade's Farm, not a corporation, but Wade's Farm, private groups, donates tons to us during our Thanksgiving period of time and other times. Stop and Shop, Geisler's. There's even a supermarket in Southington, in Plantsville, because David Nail has driven down there numerous times when we needed food, and they just send us food or give us access to the ordering mechanisms that they can buy at wholesale that we'd have to buy retail and allow us to do so. And then the community. People like you and people who have no interest in coming here, people who are of different faiths or have no kind of organized religion and have sworn off it for good reasons, because a lot of organized religion is pretty ugly these days, right? Right? We admit that. We get that. Try not to do that. But we get folks who have already been hurt but say, no, I want to support you. And of course, the biggest partner we have, the Holy Spirit, the breath of God, the air that's coming through, and the fire that God and the living Jesus and Holy Spirit put in us to get things done. These partnerships together result in remarkable accomplishments. And some, see, I almost forgot it again. Like, there's so much going on that last year, in June 26th of 2021, the town awarded us with the second consecutive Town of Bloomfield Outstanding Community Partner Award. And we forgot to tell anybody in the congregation about it. Because there were so many other things going on. We just forgot to even mention we got this award. And I know not everything comes down to money, but some of the times it's important to recognize just how big an impact we're making on this community of faith. 4 years ago, this church was doing very well, and it put $56,000 in impact into the community. A year later, that was $113,000. 2 years ago, that was $226,000 in impact. Last year, we just cracked into the 300,000 area, and this year, $360,000. $360,000 of impact into the community and to the world. That makes an enormous difference into what is going on here. And so thank you to all of you in whatever way you do these things, whether you volunteer in one of these things, whether you just give us an attaboy, whether you pray for us, whether you donate to what's going on, whether you go out there and you talk about what's going on so that other people do something to help make this happen. Whether you're one of the people using these things, thank you. Thank you. Let more people know about what is going on here, because this is remarkable. It's doing what the Holy Spirit does, which is multiplying the impact year over year over year. And it is just tremendous, so thank you. But there's one other thing I want to highlight today. And that is our Child Development Center, because the Child Development Center is our single most important mission that we have. We've been doing it for a long time, but for a while, for some reason, it became kind of separated, like there were two different entities, and we didn't really feel like it was our own, and they didn't really feel like we were supporting them. And so Jessica Salvador, who is here today. Jessica, would you stand up? Is our director of the Child Development Center, Bloomfield Child Care Center. We're still working on the permanent name. If you have any ideas, we're happy to take those in. But she is working really closely with us and the teachers and others to make sure. And Jen, are you still here? Jen, you stand up as well. Our assistant director, who is helping to bring these things together. And amazing things are happening under the joint leadership of the church and what they are doing and what the teachers are doing. I just want to show you something really quickly. We're going to put it on screen as well so you can see it a little better. But here is what the Child Development Center looked like when we took a picture out front last year. All right, this is a picture of what it looked like last year. Here's a picture of what it looks like this year. Let me tell you a couple of reasons why that's happening. One, because we have amazing leadership. Right? Two, because we're bringing that partnership back together. Ann Jennings is the president of the board, and I can tell you she holds people to account, but also gives great advice and makes things happen, right? Right, and there are all kinds of other people on the board who are doing remarkable things. Scott Coach, gosh, he holds my feet to the fire. He's great. But he's on the board there. He's on the board. He's on the council. He's on all these different things that just remarkable things are happening. But here's what I believe is the number one reason why things are happening. Because of the teachers. Because of the teachers and what they've gone through. I don't know how many of you appreciate this, but doing what they did through multiple waves of this pandemic was almost broke people. And in addition to that, what they did, what Jessica brought, was a new integrity to this Child Development Center. When we make mistakes, we admit them. We call the state, we call the different places, and we say, yep, we made a mistake. And that's the same thing that happens here. Right? If we make a mistake, it's the only thing I can promise you. Most of the time we'll be okay, but the only thing I can promise you is I'm going to make a mistake sometime. That's the only guarantee I can give you. All right, that at some point I'm going to fail you, at some point I'm going to make a mistake. But we're going to say it and admit it. And because of that, the relationship at the state, they trust this organization. And the way we handled COVID, making sure parents and children and the teachers never didn't have a test. Make sure everybody had a test. No other program did that. When you have that kind of integrity, when you're working together with this Holy Spirit thing that we have going on and you're working together, that's the kind of thing that happens. We have other teachers here. So everybody who's here from the Child Development Center and anybody who's affiliated with it, whether you're on the board or something else, will everybody please stand up? That's you, Steve. Get up. That's you too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Spirit is moving in this place in powerful, powerful ways. But the one promise that I say each year is that the best is yet to come. And in a moment, not yet, but in a moment, a friend of ours, Paul Coleman, who's a Grammy-nominated artist who has played for us before, in the past several years has played his original song, The Best Is Yet to Come, has a special message for us. But during part of it, because this is a song that you're going to be like, this doesn't necessarily sound like a church song, right? Because it's written in an Irish drinking song kind of way, right? So, and look, I know we're different, right? And again, these are not brass knuckles. But these can be your mugs. Like when we get to the refrain, if you're trying to sing along and you're up for it, you're gonna see, and I'll lead you and we'll do it. But enjoy this because we're gonna move for this. So ready? Tee 'em up.
Hey to all those at Bloomfield
Way up.
Congregational Church. Yes. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Celebration Sunday. Pastor Sean has sent me a whole lot of stuff about what you guys have been doing. My goodness me, 30,000 meals, 2,000 COVID at home tests. Man, it's almost like you guys have been getting this idea that serving people is how everything has changed. $10,000 for the people of Ukraine. $60,000 to the elderly. My goodness me. You guys are a mighty group up there, aren't you? Man. You know, the Christians that actually brought down the Roman Empire did by serving, by doing exactly what you were doing, not by complaining about people's sin, not marching in the streets, but actually by doing exactly what you're doing. So for you guys, the best is definitely yet to come. Oh, come hear a story. Oh, come gather friends. I'll tell you a tale, though it isn't done yet. You saints and you sinners, you daughters and sons, the best is yet to come. Here once was a valley that led to a storm. Both were in darkness, as real as a war, leaving us broken with nowhere to run. But the best is yet to come. Yeah, the best is yet to come. Yeah, so lift up your glasses, raise them on high. Here's to the failure we're leaving behind. Cheers to the future, 'cause it's just begun. Oh, the best, yeah, the best, yeah, the best is yet to come. Hey! Yeah, we'll drown out the voices inside of our heads, and we'll bury the critics as though they were dead, and we'll prove to the cynics who said it could be done that the best is yet to come. Sing it with me. Yeah, the best is yet to come. Yeah, so lift up your glasses, raise them on high. Here's to the failures we're leaving behind. Cheers to the future, 'cause it's just begun. Oh, the best, yeah, the best, yeah, the best is yet to come. That's what it sounds like. You've had a sore throat all week. It's like a car clearing out the exhaust and the baffle. Yeah, well, this is our story, but not where it ends. As long as we're breathing, it isn't done yet. Let's toast to the battles we haven't yet won, because the best is yet to come. Yeah, 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 the best is yet to come. Good job, guys. I hope I can be there in person one day. That would...
Do we have any joys today? All right, yes. Woo! Other joys. My mic's a little hot here. Other joys. Yes.
I've been married to you for 25 years.
Now we have the return of our wonderful band up there. Let's go. Let us pray. Gracious God, thank you for all of the blessings breathed into this community of faith. For all the disciples who are responding to your call, following your way, connecting and trusting the Holy Spirit. Thank you for all the blessings we get to experience, from breathing to singing to the music and all the things that take our breath away. For birthdays and anniversaries and accomplishments, and for the blessing of community and communities of faith. Thank you for everyone who is here today and everybody online and those who could not be here today. Thank you for partnering with us. Thank you for helping our inner lights to shine. May we keep doing that for as many days as we have and beyond. Amen. Now please rise in body or spirit as we sing our closing hymn, This Little Light of Mine. That was awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all you do and all of you have continued to do and all you will continue to do. Thank you for all the people who are, and good luck to all the people who are going off to college and going off to Silver Lake and everything and wherever you are all going. You're all invited to the cookout and party outside afterwards, but before we go, the benediction. May love bless you and keep you. May love make its face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And be gracious unto you. May love lift up its countenance upon you, and give you peace, and give you peace. Go in peace. grateful that's a joy. There were times, I'm sure. Other joys? Anybody feeling good? Anybody have a joy? All right. Well, I have one more joy that I'm going to give.
You told me address next.
Come on.
Get a chair up here. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. So when we got, she's already crying. When we got married 25 years ago, the best man and I hid a keyboard, and she didn't know about this part of the wedding, which is a dangerous thing for a guy to do, to mess with the wedding without the wife's permission. And I wrote her a song, and so I wrote her a new one that I'm going to allow you to all hear as well today. Let's see if my voice won't crack. I'm not going to look at you because I'll start crying too. So. I've been trying to find the words, but they just won't come. It's not like I haven't tried, but it seems the world doesn't have the words to explain how I feel. What you've helped me to be, all you've helped me to learn, and all the things you mean to me. But I'm still gonna try, even if the words don't flow. Oh, I hope I get it right, 'cause I want you to know you'd be the flame if I was a candle, the stars if I was the sky. And when I fall, as I walk down this life's crazy road, you are my home. I'm not looking. I'm not counting the years. I don't really believe in time. But as we go through change, what I really believe in is light. And that's why you'd be the flame if I was a candle, the stars if I was the sky. And when I fall, as I walk down this life's crazy road, you are my home. And when my time comes, I won't fear the skies above, 'cause no God I know would ever want an end to this love. You'd be the flame if I was a candle, the stars if I was the sky. And when I fall, as I walk down this life's crazy road, when I fall and I fall and I fall and I fall, are my home. Now we have the return of our wonderful band up there.